Okay, good afternoon guys. We're on our way to my friend Chris's house, who many of you will probably already know as Chrisweeet on Instagram. Gonna leave links to his stuff down below. We're heading over there now. We're almost there actually.
There it is, the dog that hates me.
Yeah, every time I come here, Chris's dog goes mental. So we're just walking up to his reptile room now. It's just up here. You can already see him. Here he is now. Hey, Chris.
Hey dude.
What's up?
Nice to see you again.
Yep.
What shall we film today?
I don't know. What do you have that's new?
Oh, a lot of stuff. Let's take a look.
Okay, so right now we're in the main sort of part of Chris's reptile room. What are we doing today, Chris?
Well, we're gonna have a look-see at all the snakes he misses so much because he's been away for quite some time. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff you like is in shed, like the mambas and the perps, so no handling on those, unfortunately. And we're just gonna take a look at some bioactive enclosures that I've set up. Some are new, some are old. We'll see how they progress through time, and we'll talk more about them.
And I think you've got a whole bunch of new stuff too that I haven't seen yet since my last visit.
Yeah, we'll cover all of that, don't worry.
Alright.
So now guys, we're gonna be taking a look at some of my favorite enclosures I've set up here, mostly for my vipers, such as this Hope's pit viper, one of the many beautiful species from Thailand. This is a very gorgeous individual.
I have noticed before you keep largely only Thai species of viper.
Yeah.
Is that still so? Or have you got some other cool
I have
stuff?
been importing more species in and expanding my collection a bit, so we'll go over some of that. Like this beautiful eyelash pit viper down here. Yeah? Oh, okay. Even for me, she's gotten much bigger.
Oh, interesting colour with those pinks on the side.
Yeah, she's from a very cool bloodline.
Yeah, she's really pretty, although my favorites are the bright yellow ones.
Yeah. Oh, very pink face actually.
Very variable species.
Yeah, and people are still finding like different looking ones in the wild.
Do you know if...
Oh, I don't even know if it's like locality or...
That's what I was about to ask, if the color depends on locality or if it's just random.
From what I know, it can be completely random within a single clutch.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a lot more to fondle.
Such a cool snake though. Alright, so what do we have next?
We have... Oh, you remember this female?
Oh yeah.
The black mangrove pit viper. You worked with like her babies last time you were here.
Yeah, I remember last time I came I actually walked in the room and I saw the babies and you hadn't even
Yeah,
noticed them yet.
them. Well, she's in shed today, so obviously no touchy-touchy.
You can see she's a lot thinner now than when she was gravid when I saw her previously.
Anyway, there's her. And then there's Sir Scratch One.
One of my favorites.
He is a Hainan king cobra from China.
I think out of all the Chinese localities, Hainan has to be one of my favorites.
Yeah, agreed. Very light banding.
Is this one in shed too, or can we get him out for a bit?
We can get him out. Sure thing.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, I can see he's already like very curious what's going on.
What's the temperament like on this one, Chris?
Oh, he's very calm. But he likes to think like this sliding motion. He's so accustomed to me feeding him, so he thinks like a new snake is coming in.
Yeah, that's why I'm being super careful. I don't want him to fling around.
David does not want to be mistaken for a snake.
I'm also so much more wary about snakes that I don't own or work with every day myself, because I don't know what they're going to be like.
Yeah, once he's out, he's like a puppy dog.
With my own snakes back home, I'm a lot more comfortable taking them out because I know exactly what their temperament is like. This one seems to be quite alright. How old is this one now?
Well, he's like 4 years old. Well, almost.
Very small.
But yeah, unlike Thai Kings, he's not growing that same speed at all.
So beautiful.
Not a snake.
Think of all snakes, king cobras have to be my favorite by far. There's just no other snake that's
Yeah,
like
agreed.
even remotely similar to them in any way. Hello?
Yeah, my 2-year-old Thai Kings have already grown past him.
Oh, he
wants
just
to go?
wants to go back in the box.
You can just let him go.
Yeah. Super nice banding, typical for Hainan cobras.
He's like, what you doing to my kid? Alright, let's put that lock back in and continue forward. Now, that was a West African GABOON viper. She's in shed right now, but we're gonna have a closer look at my other one down there. Here she is. Look at that purple.
Hissing already.
Does anyone want to put their hand on it to show me the size?
No.
No thank you.
She used to be like one I could handle all the time. Now she like hisses a bit too much for my taste.
And you really don't want to get bitten by one of these out in Thailand, right?
Hell no. You could lose your arm or your life. So let's get closer. So, next stop, KRAIT.
I remember this from last time, it jumped on my neck.
Oh, it's gonna end very well this time. Stuck shut there. And this is the one that lunged at you last time.
Bad memories with this one.
So what is it, David?
The Malayan or blue KRAIT, Bungarus candidus, is he under here?
Yep. Shoot out at your chest again.
This must be in northern Taiwan.
This
Yeah.
one's also from Pra.
They have quite a bit of variation across the region, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Cause like I'll take my female out right after this, and she has the black in between the white. But I just love that really cool slick pattern. I love them both equally.
Okay, should we look at the female?
Yeah. That's good. Please don't shoot out. She's gigantic.
She's huge.
And she bites everything.
This is the one I was telling you about, Rupert, that is super defensive compared to any other candidus I've ever seen.
Because every candidus I've ever caught in the wild, and I've caught probably over 25, they've all been so docile.
If you put your hook in there, she might bite it.
Do you want to go ahead and do that?
Go on, David.
Alright. Oh, she's already trying to bite herself.
No, she bit like a log, didn't she? So if all KRAITs were like that, we would have way more bite records. We would probably be on the records ourselves.
They often have yellow, like
Watch out.
on these
Yeah, I
all
would
these
get
upper
that.
body ones.
Look at that. She's just...
Like she will launch. She's just not doing it yet.
Yeah, I have a great deal of respect for this snake, because I've seen what it can do in the past.
Also being one of the
Most toxic snakes.
The most toxic snake in Thailand, for sure.
most in the world.
You see again that typical twitchiness for kraits.
It's what makes them so nerve-wracking to work with, you know? The way they can just suddenly, their head's one place and then the next second it's opposite side. You can let it cruise back in now if you want, David.
I'm so afraid to pair her with like the tiny male I have.
Alright, what do we have over here?
We have my pair of West African bush vipers. So another non-native species. The female is the big one right there, and the male's like being toppled by her right back there. So we could take them out and have a better look at them. Chloricus.
Is it Chloricus or Chloricus?
Chloro.
Another species which is very similar to the trims we've been seeing on this trip.
Alright, so he's a little bit in a striking pose now, so as long as I don't move it should be okay. At first you might think they look very closely related to the Asian green tree vipers. They're actually not, because these, unlike almost all of the Asian tree vipers, if not all, are not pit vipers. They're, if you look on the head, they only have the eye and then the nostril, and they completely lack that heat-sensing pit. These are actually very closely related to the variable bush viper, which I used to keep in the past, only that these have obviously a very different shade of green, and the scales are a lot shorter. The variable bush viper has these head scales which are almost dragon-like. They fork upwards. We can maybe insert a photo or show you one later. I think Chris has one. Really cool snake. There's no anti-venom for these as well, so I should really be careful.
Don't do what he's doing.
And some of the Atheris actually have really bad bites.
Most of them are.
I saw some photo of someone in the States just recently who got bit. That was like really bad necrosis, and they lost a large part of their finger.
Yeah, that was with Eka's anti-venom.
Yeah, sometimes they use saw-scale viper antivenom to treat these.
It would be the closest thing you could get to treat one.
Yeah, the closest thing, but of course it's not at all ideal and doesn't work very great.
Right, let's put this guy back before you end up the same.
Alright, so here's the other species of bush viper I was just mentioning that I used to keep in the past. And this is actually the exact individual that I had, and then I sold it to Chris at some point. It's gotten a lot bigger since I last saw it. Definitely cool to kind of get to see my old boy one more time. Yeah, he's being really defensive, not a good one to free handle, but you can see what I was talking about. The scales kind of curve upward much more than on the other one. And these are also, they're called variable bush vipers because they're so highly variable. They come in a whole array of different colors, including like bright yellow or bright red.
Yeah, they're basically like the African version of eyelash vipers.
Exactly.
But most of them are green, right?
Yeah, typically they're this
green and yellow.
Greenish yellow, but some of them are really beautiful.
We can get these Uganda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know some friends that went to Uganda and...
Wow.
All I did was scratch. Let's actually get some photos of it.
Not happy at all. They're a very cool species, and they feel unlike many other snakes. They really have an interesting, unique texture to them.
Cool.
Alright guys, so this last segment of the video we're going to take a look at the blue and silurus pit vipers here.
These are really cool, but we're not going to spend too much time with them because Chris recently had a whole litter of babies from these, and he did a whole dedicated video about these on his channel, so if you want to see a lot of them, go over and check that out.
Check it out.
Right here, I'm going to let you get her out.
So, big female.
This has to be one of the biggest individuals of the species I've ever seen.
I've never seen one bigger than her.
She's really huge.
She just ate a few days ago.
I really like that she has silver eyes because a lot of the ones I've seen have these reddish brown eyes. I think the silver just looks a lot better.
Or like the dark red ones.
Is she okay?
She's okay.
Wow, what an awesome snake.
Could you hold the hook for a moment, actually?
Yes. Hookmaster.
This one is handleable.
I'm working my way there.
We're about to find out.
Yes, we're about to find out. Stay tuned for the next episode where he
She
goes
definitely
to the
got a little scared there, so
I'm just going to move around for better lighting.
Just
I'm
lower.
just gonna keep my hand as still as possible. I think the problem is the aircon is blowing on her.
That was probably it.
She's huge.
She is really, really huge for
She's
the
like
species.
a big elbow size.
How many babies did she have?
She had 17 babies.
It's just incredible seeing a blue snake, you know? It's such an unusual colour for them to have.
Normally snakes would like want to blend into their surroundings, but these guys are just so bright. They're like, hey predators, you see me? You see how pretty I am? Don't mess with me, I'm venomous.
I've also heard people say that in some of the areas they're found, you get a lot of plants that have
Very blue hue.
blue leaves or flower petals, and that's where they like to live.
It's just sit waiting for birds.
I don't know how true that is, though. I feel like a lot of these things are also like things that people kind of make up at some point in the hobby, and then they kind of catch on.
Yeah, like the orchid mantis sitting on orchids.
Yeah, I've never seen an orchid mantis on an orchid.
They don't sit on orchids at all.
And these guys are found mostly on the smaller, lesser Sunda Islands.
So what you get is their population of the blue snakes, they cross over with the green version of this variant, the same species but different looking snake, which is why it's in their genes. Oh, you okay there? Yeah. It's in their genes somewhere, and sooner or later it pops up in the next generation, which is why some babies from this clutch will actually have turned out green.
Alright, so I'm gonna put it back now. Chris, of course, has way too much stuff that we could cover in one video, but I'll leave a link to Chris's social medias down below. Make sure you go check it out. You won't be disappointed. It's always really fun to come visit here. And I hope I'll be back soon.
The males are just like, what just happened?
Hey guys, Rupert here. I hope you enjoyed this newest video. I know we looked at a lot of snakes, so let me know in the comments section below which one was your favourite. Also, remember there's new videos every single week, so make sure you're subscribed to the David's Feed YouTube channel. Peace.